I literally got into a fight with the girl for throwing a drink at her. I beat the girl up for throwing a drink at her, and I got shot at. Hey y'all, before we get into this story time, I have to give a quick shout out to DOSSIER. Y'all already know I've been rocking with DOSSIER for a long time now. I love their scents. They smell so good. The packaging is always exceptional and the shipping is always super quick. This floral marshmallow smelled so good. I wore this when I went out that night and I got all types of compliments. I love that DOSSIER has these magnetic tops. They're so convenient because I lose the tops to a lot of my fragrances, so it was very appreciated. I love that the packaging, like I said, is always so nice. It always comes with these little note cards to show you the notes on the scent. The amber cherry smells so good, kind of like the Tom Ford cherry, so I actually enjoyed that a lot. So this smelled very good too. So again, shout out to DOSSIER for sponsoring today's video. I very much enjoy our partnerships and can't wait to smell some more fragrances. Let's get into the video. What's good, y'all? It's your girl, it's your fave, Jstdej, and I am back with another video today, you guys. If you're new to my channel, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, okay? And turn the notification bell so you can notified when I upload new videos. So as you can tell by the title of this video, it's going to be another story time, you guys. So this story time is going to basically be on why me and my best friend is not best friends no more. Y'all already know that I kind of have this history of not picking the best friends or not having the best circle, honestly. And I can't really blame nobody but myself. Because I'm the type of person that be like, damn, this fire hot, but keep touching it. So anyways, so yeah, without further ado, let's get right into this video. So we're going to call her Cancer. So we're gonna call her Cancer because that's her zodiac sign, and that's kind of what she became in my life over time, to be honest with y'all. So yeah, so boom, background, because y'all know I like to give y'all, you know, beginning, middle, end. So basically, we have been friends since we were in like middle school. I've known her since I went to Valley Middle. If there's anybody on my channel watching from Valley Middle, what's up, girl? So y'all might know Shorty, but anyways, we're gonna call her Cancer. So basically, me and Cancer have been friends since we was in middle school. A lot of my friends are not friends that I made during like my adult years. I rarely have friends that I made in my adult years, but I feel like that's based on how things have been with being still friends with my childhood friends, if that makes sense. So it's kind of like a trauma thing, and I feel like a lot of people don't talk about that. Like friendships really traumatize you. So anyways, so basically, we were having friends since middle school. I said that 3 times already. And we weren't so close in middle school though. So we kind of got older, and this was around the time where we were in high school. And this is around the time where I actually was working at Nike. So I was working at Nike, which was actually a good job. Feel me? The benefits was crazy. We used to get like 40% off of shoes and shit. It was lit. But I remember going to the training or whatever, and when I went to the training, I ended up seeing her there, and so I was like, oh my god, like, you work here, you know, whatever. And from there it was just up, like it was instant from there. Mind you, over those years before we got to like high school and stuff, we would talk here and there kind of online, as far as like, you know, Snapchat, how are you, kind of like catching up type of thing. It's like that friend that you talk to every 2 years or every year and y'all can still be cool. That's the type of friendship that it was, until we became like really good friends at Nike. Like, y'all, they used to think that we was gay. Okay, they used to think it was giving sizzle. Like, we used to be holding hands, you feel me, skipping around the fucking Nike, like just being extra, you know. But we was really cool like that. So we would always like go on our breaks and stuff together, and that's kind of like how our friendship began to form. So after that, you know, we would go out to eat together, do just like all type of stuff, and we was just really cool. I'm a Scorpio, she's a Cancer, and they say that like our zodiacs are really compatible. I don't know how much y'all believe in that. I do to a certain extent, so that's kind of like that whole situation with that. So our bond was very, very good. So anyways, so yeah, so then it came kind of to like our adult years. So this was around the time where like me and Jamel had like our own place, and this is when we first moved into like our townhouse. She did used to come over every so often when we had like our first apartment, but our friendship wasn't like super close. Like at that point, that's when I first started selling hair and everything. She was in my photo shoot and everything like that, because I felt like we were good enough friends, and she was definitely supporting like my brand and stuff like that. But then like as we got older and as we kind of like got more into the friendship, I felt like shit started getting weird and rubbing me the wrong way. And per usual around that time, y'all know that I was never the type of person to voice my opinions and how I felt about shit until I just couldn't take it anymore, and then it blew up. So that's kind of like the build up of what happened. So our first incident is when when she actually bought hair from me. So she brought hair from me, and I'm like, okay, cool, like my friend supported me, like whatever the case may be. I did tell her once I ordered this hair that I was going out of town. So I'm like, I'm gonna be out of town for my granddad's funeral, so I'm not gonna be able to get it to you until this day. I don't know how our communication ended up being misinterpreted or what happened with that, but she was super pissed at me. So the day of the actual funeral, of my grandfather's funeral, I can find the messages, I'll put them somewhere on the screen, but literally the first message that I seen, like damn near that day, was her asking me about this hair, and I was like, I told you that it wouldn't be here, like, you know, whatever, but like I'm literally about to walk into like my granddad's funeral, like I can't talk about this right now. And this bitch was going fucking nuts, talking about, well, you said this, you said that, why my hair not here, now I gotta reschedule my appointment. All this is happening the day of, when I'm walking into the doors of my granddad's funeral. And I was just like, that's crazy. And so I'm like, it took me a little while to say something about it, but eventually I did. And I'm like, I really didn't like how you handled that situation, because it's like, why would you do that on a day like this? Like, I couldn't imagine doing that to nobody on no day like that. Like, putting somebody in the ground and you really talk to me about some fucking hair. Like, I get that, because I'm very proud when it comes to my hair. And I always feel some type of way when my hair not done. When my appointment is set, I need to be there, I need to be on time, I need everything. Ain't nothing like having your hair done, or the feeling of having your hair done. But I feel like as my friend, that could have waited for another time. And I don't know why it got miscommunicated, but it did. Eventually, like once I got home, we did sit down and we talked about it, or whatever the case may be. But that was one of the red flags that I really was not fucking with, you know, as far as that situation goes. Then there was another incident. So initially we had fell out not too long ago, of course, over niggas. Now this is my thing. I feel like that ruins a lot of relationships and friendships, which is absolutely crazy. This friend, Cancer, she was very much boy crazy. She was very boy crazy, and I understand that. Like, we young, we love niggas, we outside, they outside. Like, that's not even the problem, but I feel like it's the fact that, like, we just wasn't on the same level when it came to those type of things. We were not on the same level whatsoever. And so, I remember being laid up. So I remember I was cool with one of my little guys, whatever. One of my guys was cool with one of her guys, you feel me? And so, long story short, with this portion, he was telling me stuff that I don't tell nobody. I don't tell nobody my business. There's probably a select few people that I would really tell my business to. That was her, who I consider to be my best friend, and I tell Bree. My parents and all that don't really count, but those are like my go-tos. I confide in them about literally everything. If you ain't heard it from neither of them two people, it never happened. I swear to God. So with that whole situation, he telling me stuff, and I'm like, how you even know? I ain't gonna get into the specifics of what it was, but I came to my friend, I'm like, look, I heard X, Y, and Z. Like, how did he know that? Like, what's good? She like, well, I couldn't tell you. Whole time Bree didn't even know dude, you know, for real, like that. So she like, I couldn't tell you, blah blah blah. And so she automatically got defensive to that situation, and that's kind of how I knew, you know, whatever the case may be. But she really tried to downplay it, and I wasn't fucking with the vibes of that either. So we ended up falling out because of that, y'all, for like 6 months, because I said something to her. She like, I ain't about to deal with this. She probably sent me one message like, I don't know what you're talking about, I ain't about to deal with this. And then she blocked me. Like, then she blocked me. I'm like, because I asked you a question, ain't like I'm coming at you like, you dumb bitch, why'd you blah blah blah, or you got me fucked up. Like, none of that. It was none of that. I'm like, look, so and so told me this, like, what's good? It was more of a conversation like that. So the fact that she was tweaking like that had me blue. Like, what type of time is you on? You feel me? Like, so anyways, so we ended up getting into it from there. We didn't talk for like 6 months. Then it was one time where me, Bree, and Cousin, y'all know Cousin, we was out at her job. So we at her job, we eating, drinking, not even thinking that this bitch is about to be our waiter, but she ended up being our waiter. Y'all, like 6 mimosas later, I'm like, okay, like I'm cool like at this point, but it was very awkward. She didn't speak to me, I didn't speak to her. It kind of just was what it was. So anyway, so we get ready, we walk into the car, we get in the car, whatever, we just talking. We probably sat outside for like 30 minutes. Y'all know how that is after brunch. Like, we was lit up. So we sitting there in the car, whatever, and I seen her walk to her car. And so I'm sitting there talking to Brie. I'm like, let your window down. I'm telling Brie to let her window down. She like, no, Deja, no. Y'all know Brie is my conscience. So she like, no, I'm not finna let this window down if you about to say something crazy, because you know. And so I'm like, I'm not about to say nothing crazy. So she finally lets the window down or whatever. And so I was like, you finna go home? Because we just happen to live in the same building. So let me backtrack just a little bit. So we did live in the same building, me, her, and we're gonna call the other girl 303 because that's her nickname. So me, Cancer, and 303 all lived in the same building. So we was all just like really good friends. We used to turn up, we used to drink. Like, y'all, I remember one night we finished 2/5 of Henny between 3 people and was slapped crazy. So anyways, so we did that or whatever the case may be. So we used to just have such a good time. She a cook. Like, it was so fun living in the same building as my friends. I ain't even gonna cap. I ain't gonna cap. So anyways, so yeah, so she let the window down and I'm like, you about to go home? She like, yeah, this and the third. I was like, well, I'm gonna come upstairs or whatever so that we could talk, this and the third. I didn't end up going up there the next day, but the day after that, or like a couple days after that, she did end up texting me or whatever. So we ended up like going to, you know, she came down to my house. We ended up talking and we hashed it out. We shared like our little tears, whatever, because we didn't talk for like 6 months, y'all. 6 months over like a conversation that could have been had. And like, to me, I just don't feel like I feel like a lot of people be trying to give me the advice that, you know, just fuck them and this and the third, but I believe in that to a certain extent. I feel like if you really give a fuck about a friendship, you just shouldn't throw it away. I feel like real people are really hard to come by, and I'm just not always down to be like, fuck them, throw the relationship away. If I really feel in my spirit and my gut that that's what it is, then I will, you know. But at that time, I just felt like we were still friends and it wasn't that big of a deal for us to fall out over. Did I have red flags after that? Absolutely. Was I reserved after that? Absolutely. 100%. So anyway, so let's go on to the next incident. So she ends up moving out the building. So she moves out the building. So she ended up moving to a whole different like city. So because she moved to a different city, like us hanging out and seeing each other every day wasn't really like a thing. So we started having Fridays as our days for us to like hang out and stuff. So it was like that for a couple of months, you know, while she was like in her new place and stuff. So at that point, I'm like, okay, well, she don't live in the building no more. It's just me and 303. So me and 303 start kicking it super heavy. You feel me? So me and 303 ended up like kicking it real heavy. So Fridays ended up being me and Cancer's days for us to like hang out and stuff. So because she lived probably like 35 minutes away or whatever, now like basically 303 was introduced to me by Cancer. So I understand that the boundaries or whatever the case may be need to be like a thing, I guess, to a certain extent, but part of me also be feeling like if all of us is friends, I don't understand the problem. Please comment down below and let me know how you feel about your friend being friends with your friend, if that makes sense. So anyways, that started to become an issue. So Fridays became our days, but then Cancer got like a little boo or whatever. So she got this little boo, and I did not approve of him. Just like I don't approve of a lot of her guys that she was messing with, and vice versa. Like, y'all already know how that is when it's your friend. Like, not everybody is good enough for your friend. So y'all, let me tell y'all without saying too much. It'll be a classy drag because it ain't even all whatever. It's a classy drag. But she like, you know, I just met this guy, like this and the third. He you know, he is cool. You know, he bought her flowers and stuff on the first day. He was very much a gentleman. That's great. But the whole time he told her that he had a baby on the way. Like, shorty was at least like 7 months pregnant. And I'm like, yeah, no, you need to cut. Like, be cool with him if that's what you want to do, but don't like him. This bitch ended up falling in love with him. Like, what the fuck? Like, y'all, they telling each other they love each other after 2 months of being together, which I understand to a certain extent, but nah. I've never, like, no. You know what I mean? I'm like, on top of that, he already has a daughter already. So I'm just like, girl, you have your shit together. You got a job. You got a car. You got your own place. You just went to a nice place, DT. Like, why do you want extra baggage? You don't even got no kids. Like, I'm a firm believer in that. I don't have no kids. And I personally don't want to date or be with nobody that has kids, because to me, that feels like extra baggage. And I also feel like I don't want to deal with that. I don't want no baby mama drama. I don't want no extras. Like, I don't want that. And I personally just feel like I want my first to be your first. And I want us to build a family together. You done already built that with 2 other people. No, like, the answer is no. So whatever, so that's that whole situation. So because of that and because of him, we stopped hanging out. So Fridays were no longer our days. So she'd be like, oh, well, I've been at work, I just been busy. So we went from talking every day to talking maybe once a week. And so she's like, oh, well, we can hang out this day, but like these days are for bae, Fridays are for bae now. Like she would literally say shit like that to me, and I'm like, one day he get his kids, the fuck, like what? I was so confused, right? So at this point, now me and 303 are hanging out heavy because we live in the same building. So now Sundays became me and 303 days. So we'll drink, we'll turn up, we'll go to Target. Like, you know, it was a vibe. And like, I really consider her a really good friend of mine. And I'm very blessed. I'm very, very blessed that she introduced me and 303 to each other, because I fuck with 303 heavy. Like, she's really like my friend. So she's actually coming down here. I don't know if I should be saying that or not, but she's coming down here for her birthday. So I'm very excited to see her, and like we actually really good friends. So, you know, so anyways, me, 303 and Cancer all was in like a group text, and like she started calling us like odd bitches because we, like, me and her are friends. And so she did not like that, and I'm just like, I don't understand the problem with that situation. Like, I get it to a certain extent, but it's like, we're like, all of us are friends, we all was living in the same building, you introduced me to her, you know, we hanging out, we all used to like turn up together. Like, I don't understand what the problem is. So that became like a thing. The whole time I didn't understand why that was a problem, because she had this friend, we're gonna call her Lacey. So Lacey, she used to be like, hey, like whenever me and her would talk, whenever me and Cancer would talk, she'd be like, yeah, like I just confide in you with this, that, and the third. She was like, but Lacey, like my real friend, like that's my friend, like that's my best friend, blah, 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 blah. Like she'd be like, you're my friend, but like that's my friend. And she used to say that shit all the time to me. And it hurt my feelings or nothing like that, because I'm not fighting for a spot in nobody's life. A friend, a nigga, no fucking body, because for what? You feel me? So it was never that. It was just the fact that like she always felt like she had to like remind me of it or some shit. And I'm like, okay, I get that that's your best friend. Like, you know, that could be your best friend. I could still consider you mine. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. Like, okay, you know, like type shit. And then on top of that, like me and Lacey was really cool. Like all of us used to go out. It used to be a very good time. There was never no issue with that. But her and Lacey fell out, and I remember her just talking shit to me about Lacey, and so that also was another red flag. And I'm like, well, I probably shouldn't be saying certain shit to you because of that, you know. And I feel like that's like kind of stuff that you kind of got to watch out for, but whatever. And so it's like, okay, so to me it was kind of like she used to always be telling me like I'm a second friend, so what's wrong with me being friends with 303? And so she used to literally not talk to us, not fuck with us, like all type of everything, because we was cool, you know what I mean? So there was that whole situation. And then on top of that, I remember I tried to hang out with her a couple of times because she works at a job where there's a lot of girls around, you know. And she used to be like, well, I'm going out tonight. She's like, I wouldn't invite you, but like all my other friends are gonna be there. And she was like, it would just be weird for me to invite you out with me and like my work friends. And like weird shit like that. Like, what the fuck? Like, who says that? That's weird as fuck to me. Like, you come around my friends, you could come around my family, whoever, like, and we all gonna get the fuck along. Like, what you mean? Like, I don't understand. Like, I never understood why that was like even a thing, to be honest with you. So there was that whole situation. Like, it was so much stuff that built up to us not being cool. But I'm gonna tell y'all the end all be all of why we wasn't friends, because whole time she's supposed to be in Houston with me. Like, she talking about moving here. So and that didn't end up happening. I feel like there was always so much stuff going on. Like, so it would just be crazy to me why she would be saying stuff like that to me. So then it kind of like these sly comments start coming in. So I remember I was supposed to be getting my BBL or whatever. We're gonna talk about that in a vlog. So make sure y'all subscribe so y'all can see my vlogs and my updates with that. But she used to be like, the first time that I told her about me getting a BBL, the first thing that she said to me, and I will never forget, because after that in my mind I was mentally off the bitch. She was like, well, make sure you don't get no booty bigger than mine. Like, you already have a nice body, bitch. Like, why you gotta be like that? Like, I will never understand why people are weird like that. I have never been like that with my friends, and I will never be like that with my friends. Like, I crave a sisterhood and a friendship that's genuine and real and raw so bad that like I could never be like that. But I'm also not desperate to the point where I'm just gonna allow any bitch into my circle. Those days are so completely over. These are just friends that I've had my whole life that have just been rooted out. Basically, that's what's happening right now. And I got like one childhood friend left, and me and shorty ass is on the rocks too. So it's just like we're on different paths in life, and that shit is just not, it's not resonating with me. So there was that whole situation. So there was so much stuff that just kind of built up to this situation. And it's crazy because when that bitch first moved into her house, I was the first person to send her some bread. I sent her some bread, right? She wanted a bar cart. I'm like, straight up, I got you, blah, blah, blah. So I sent her the money for the bar cart, right? She's like, oh, thank you, like, that's so sweet. But her other friend sent her like $100 or some shit. She posted that shit on Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, talking about her best friend did this, her best friend did that. And I'm just like, what the fuck, am I a chopped liver? Like, what? Like, you know what I mean? And I said something about it, and what did she do? Downplayed the fuck out of it like it wasn't nothing. That's the last time I will ever do anything like that. Anyways, so let's just get into this last time. Long story short, y'all already know Molly. Me and Molly had got into our whole altercation or whatever the case may be. Me and Molly was beefing, and because me and 303 was cool, she ended up starting to hang out with Molly. Like, then this dude that I was messing with, he put up now. So he in jail. He put up now, but when I was messing with him heavy, like at the time, whatever, when he was out and when he was in up for a little bit, feel me, she like was so into it with me that she started hanging with his ex-girlfriend. Like, it's just stuff like that, and it's just kind of like, why? I haven't done nothing to you. Not saying I'm the perfect friend by any means, because I have my flaws 100%. But I feel like if my friend comes to me and telling me like I'm doing this, that, and the third, cool, I'm gonna fix it, I'm gonna change it, I'm gonna say fuck, like I'm gonna fuck with you, like deuces, you know, type of thing. But it was never like that with her. She wanted to block me, she wanted to fight with me. Right before I left for Houston, she was supposed to buy all my stuff, but once she told me that she seen Molly and she was talking to Molly and her and Molly gonna go out, and oh, well, you can hang out with 303. Once she said all that shit on top of the ex-girlfriend stuff, I was just like, I'm cool on you. Like, I had just felt like I completely exhausted my efforts, and I was tired of being the bigger person. So immediately once I told her like I'm cool on you because of the whole situation with the ex-girlfriend and the Molly situation, she blocked me. Again, there was no conversation, there was none of that. I understand to a certain extent protecting your energy, but bitch, I ain't do nothing to you. Like, you're doing all the dirt to me. Like, yes, okay, granted, I am that friend. One, I'm not a high maintenance friend. Two, I don't text back a lot. Three, you gotta call me. But four, I'm always gonna be there for you. There's been time when this bitch has been drunk and I went to go get her. Her car got towed, I went to go and grab it for her. Type shit, went with her to grab it on more than one occasion. You feel me? These niggas got you fucked up. Let's do that. Like, all type of situations that I have been there for her through you know, the passing of her, you know, friend, all that shit, all type of stuff that I've been there for her through, and many of my other friends. But I don't ever get the common courtesy back. I don't ever get that treatment back. I don't ever get none of it back. So our friendship was very one-sided, and I just feel like I did contemplate with myself about making this video in the first time, because that's very much, you know, like I still, you know, she, you know, whatever, I don't want to be friends with her. I don't want to be friends with her, but I contemplated because we did have a very strong relationship at the time. But, you know, I'm just over the situation. I'm over the whole situation, and I shouldn't, but I wish her nothing but the best. And, you know, friendships can be just as toxic as regular relationships. And that relationship to me was very toxic and very one-sided. There was just a lot of weirdness going on, and just a lot of stuff that it was just a little too much for me to handle, y'all. And then it's just crazy because on top of that, I have gone to bat for shorty so many times. Then it was crazy because when I got into that fight, when I got into that brawl downtown, when I thought I was getting jumped, when I got into that brawl downtown, everybody was sitting there telling me the next day that she didn't do nothing. She didn't do nothing. Then when I got into that the altercation with all the guys, and like, you know, Lil Draco and Big Draco, y'all probably don't remember that story time because I did take that one down. It was a little too ghetto. But with Big Draco and Lil Draco, with that whole situation, if you did see that video, her people was there too. And it's just crazy that they were damn near about to have like a whole altercation, a fight, a shootout, or whatever the case may be. She left. She literally left me there. And that's crazy because we had rode together. She literally, but she ended up leaving with her, like, her other friend or whatever. So she literally left me there, right? So she left me there. Nothing happened when I got into that freaking brawl with shorty. Then on top of that, I literally got into a fight with the girl for throwing a drink at her. I beat the girl up for throwing a drink at her, trying to fight with her in the bar, being crazy. That's a whole nother story that I'll tell y'all about. But I got into a whole fight for her. I fought for her, and I got shot at for fighting for her. But she's not like, I'm not saying, oh my God, take a bullet for me. Nah, because if you really feel whatever it is that you feel, cool. But at the same time, bitch, we're wolves, okay? We run in packs. When we leave somewhere, we leave together. Like, that's just what it is. You black. Like, the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? Like, not saying, oh my God, stand in front of this bullet for me, because no, I'm not doing that for nobody. It was just unexpected that shorty did what she did. But it's just the fact that I have just given way more than I have received. And I'm not one to count the favors that I do for people, but I do feel like sometimes people can get ungrateful and they'll forget, you know what I mean? They'll forget all the stuff that you've done for them. And so I feel like I'm more at peace with the situation, because I'm not about to deal with no fuck shit from nobody else, from no relationship, a man, a woman, a friend, family, friend, or foe. If you feel like you could treat me any type of way, or you can whatever me any type of way, that's just that on that. Like, that's like, I'm cool with that. And I just feel like I'm the type of person, like, I have such a big heart, and I feel like I treat people the way that I want to be treated. And a lot of people don't have that common sense. They don't have that sense of accountability. They don't have that sense of, oh damn, I was wrong. They don't have that sense of, you know, common sense. Like, no sense. And I just feel like we were just on completely different levels in life. And it's crazy because I had a lot of people tell me, even prior to this whole situation, that she's not my friend, we're not friends, it's not gonna work out, by the time you woo, y'all ain't gonna be cool. And that's literally what happened. That's literally what happened. But anyways, there's so much more to that story that I won't say, because the details I'll spare the details. Like I said, this was a very classy drag, but it could have got very messy. But anyways, that's gonna be the end of this story time, you guys. Moral of the story: your vibe attracts your tribe, okay? And just choose better friends, choose people on your level, and go from there. You'll definitely find your people. Don't settle just because you're lonely. In a friendship, in a relationship, nothing. You deserve people on your level, period. But until next time.